Evening, how are we doing? How are we doing? I hope that we're all well. Happy Sunday. Hope that we've had an awesome weekend. Welcome to episode 20 of the Always Better Than Yesterday interview sessions. Episode 20. How did we get to episode 20? This is amazing. So if this is the first time you've ever joined a Always Better Than Yesterday interview session, let me just say thank you so much. I massively appreciate you taking some time out of your day to come and to listen to this live, and I hope that it adds you some value. Let me just explain, if it is the first time that you've come and joined, let me just explain why I've started doing these. And I've described myself in the past as a curious little monkey, and I just love to learn about people. I love to learn about people, their habits, their mindset, and what motivates and drives people, what makes people different, what separates the good from the great, or the great from the good. And I've made lots of great connections over the last year through my coaching journey, and I've met some incredible people who I've been very fortunate to call my mentors and to learn from. And I ask these questions all the time of people that I meet, and I try and learn as much as I can from other people, and it's helped me massively. And I thought, who am I to keep all that knowledge and then learning to myself? Why not bring people on with me, ask those questions in public, so that you guys can all learn the lessons that I learn and the insight that I gain. So I've just sent a couple of invites, so we've got some people joining us, and I shall come on and say hello. If you are a returning Always Better Than Yesterday watcher and listener, I would love it if you just drop me a blue love heart emoji. Let me appreciate you. Let me give you a virtual fist pump. And if you are a first time Always Better Than Yesterday interview watcher, then a little red love heart emoji would go down nicely in the comments, and let me show you some love. So there we go. I've sent a bunch of invites. One day Facebook's going to have an invite all button, but that'll do. Let's see who we've got on. 16 people. Happy days. We are busy today. So hi guys. Hi Hayley. Amanda's on. Lisa, Deb, Anna, Bill, Dave, another Anna, Charlie. Loads. Great to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining. Julia, my friend. Christine, how are we doing? Bill, amazing. So everyone around me over the last couple of weeks has been a little bit poorly, and I thought I managed to escape it, but today I am getting the snivels. So pray for me. Send me some love. But yeah, I'm a little bit bunged up, so hopefully that doesn't come across too much with my my dulcet tones, but I will do my best to keep it as best as I possibly can. So without further ado, episode 20 is with Amanda Thomas. Now, I first met Amanda when she came to one of my Y workshops earlier in the year. Now, for those of you that don't know, I love to work with purpose. I love working with a sense of why we do what we do. And I've had a couple of workshops where I've helped people find their purpose or get clear on it, shall we say. Find the right words that articulates why people do what they do. And Amanda came along to my second Y workshop, and it was an absolute privilege and a pleasure to help her further refine and reflect on her own why, which she'd already gone through a little bit of discovery with herself. So that was amazing, and we've stayed great friends and in contact ever since. And she's part of my We Are Always Better Than Yesterday community, and in that we run a feature called Why Wednesdays every Wednesday. People come on and share their stories and their why, and Amanda delivered hers a couple of weeks ago, and it was just absolutely it was raw, it was vulnerable, it was beautiful, it was inspiring, it was incredible, and it added a lot of value to the near 350 people within that community. So we were very grateful and very blessed to have her there, and I can't wait to share her with you this evening. So I'm gonna, hopefully that she's on. Last week we had huge audio problems. I know there's been some problems going on with Facebook Live at the moment, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't get any. Mark Zuckerberg has fixed the issues. I'm gonna bring her on with me now. How are we?
Hello.
How's the audio?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear. Here we go. It seems like we got away with it for now.
I'm
Amazing.
sorry for the niggles. I'm the same at the moment, so my throat is a little bit scratchy too. So
Okay, so we'll get through this together.
we will.
Fantastic. Can you do me the honour and the privilege of introducing your good self, please?
We can, yeah. So I'm the founder of the House of Harmony, and I'm a Reiki practitioner. I'm an intuitive mentor. I'm a wellness advocate for doTERRA essential oils. And I'm also a motivational speaker and writer. And through the telling of my own story, what I hope to do is inspire others to remove the mask of constructed identity and really get to love and learn to love their real self, and achieve this state of inner harmony. And my why, my real passion and purpose in life is to nurture others back to the roots of their true self, so that they can really blossom into a life of harmony, of passion and purpose. And the reason that I am just so passionate about that is because it's a journey that I myself have walked. I have living the life I do now is very different to say 2-3 years ago. I'm an adult survivor of childhood sexual abuse, and I've also battled with infertility. I was diagnosed at 15 years old with a rare congenital disorder called MRKH, and that's basically characterised by an absence of the womb. So I was born without a womb, and those were hugely life-changing events for me, and it's meant that for the most part of my life I have battled with shame, with self-doubt, with self-hatred, self-bullying, fear of rejection and abandonment, and just generally feeling not good enough, not worthy for the world, and really questioning my femininity as well. So yeah, it's been a real journey for me, but I've cultivated, I've let go of those negative things, and now I very much am about cultivating self-love, self-care, self and self-acceptance, and what that's done for me is really built up my sense of self-worth.
Yeah, such an amazing, transformation journey that you've been on, and I remember listening to your Why Wednesday, just being in awe of you, and just the way in which you were able to tell your story and to share, what it was like going through many of those stages of your life, and the journey that you've been on. I found it hugely inspiring. So I think what I'll try and do tonight is, just try and ask a few questions around, that journey, and try and help people that are watching and listening to really understand some of the practical things that you have done that have taken you from your past situation to where you are now, because I think as you would say, your current life is unrecognizable from where you were, and I'd love to try and learn a bit about how that came to be and unpick that, if that's cool with you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic. So say your why again, read that out again.
Yeah, so my why is nurturing others back to the roots of their true self, so that they can blossom into a life of harmony, passion and purpose.
Why is that important to you?
It's hugely important, and the word harmony in there, which I'll pick up on, and it's no coincidence that my business name has got harmony in it, my why has harmony in it, because inner harmony is hugely important to me. It's one of my core values, and harmony is peace of mind. It's this being in a state of self-acceptance of our circumstances, of who we are. It's embracing our perfect imperfections. It's about having that sense of belonging and connectedness with ourself and the world as well, which is hugely important. It's about being authentic. It's about having that emotional congruence, and really being in tune and having that awareness of our own feelings and emotions. And what it does give us as well is emotional resilience. So, it's important to put that if we have inner harmony, it's not this consistent, constant state of peacefulness. It's about having it gives us this emotional resilience to deal with life's inevitable ups and downs. So inner harmony is hugely important for me, but actually it's what all of us are striving for as well, and what we're all looking to find.
So, what did you have to do with your thinking? You know, how did you to act? Did you act differently and then your thinking changed, or did you start thinking differently so that your behaviour changed? What came first for you?
It was really a lot of it came from awareness. It's first having that awareness of how, you know, how I was thinking about myself, how I was talking about myself, and how I was being in the world. You know, largely I held myself back and kept myself small for much part of my life, and I feel like I missed out a huge part of my life because of that. But it was having to, for me, finding somebody that I could talk to that was non-judgmental and really open up about things that I hadn't spoken about. It was getting in touch with my emotions, being able to name them, feel them, express them, and honour them was a huge part of that for me. Yeah, it was just changing the whole way of how I thought and catching those negative thoughts. It was about changing it, but ultimately it was about relearning to love myself, convincing myself I was worth loving. And you know,
is there something specifically that you did that actually really worked for you? Is there something you said or used to think about? Did you you know, what helped you with that reflection and awareness process?
it was really, I suppose, being around positive people, people who I could really allow myself to be vulnerable enough to share how I truly felt inside. Because if you can open up and share with people how you're truly feeling, and it's about practicing that, you know, because it takes time, because the negative thinking and all those self-limiting beliefs are habitual, so we have to break that pattern. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's a continual process. It's a gradual process, step by step, and it really does start from that kind of self-awareness and catching those thoughts and really thinking, is this true? Is this really true? You know, and really looking into that self-belief and just unraveling it all, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about self-care. Describe to me what self-care is to you, and what some of the things that you do to look after yourself.
Yeah, self-care has been a huge thing for me to learn, because I call myself a recovering people pleaser and codependent. So, you know, I put myself last in life because I didn't feel worthy. So for me, self-care is about, on a daily basis, asking myself, what do I need right now to nourish me, to nurture myself, to help me work towards my dreams? What do I need in this moment? And just, yeah, really every day making the habit of just starting with, even if it's 10 minutes a day. And I'm not just talking about, you know, going on a spa day that we do once in a blue moon or on a holiday. I'm talking about daily self-care, whether that's reading a book, it's meditating, it's going for a walk in nature, it's whatever makes you feel happy, brings you that peace and that relaxation. That's what you need to do more of. And it's about cultivating, making sure that you're committed to that on a daily basis.
Yeah, and what's that for you?
It can vary. I mean, for me, I meditate, I journal, I love to write. I love going out and immersing myself in nature. Particularly love the sea. That really does call to me. And anything that makes me laugh, but family too. Family's yeah, hugely important.
Yeah. When you shared your Why Wednesday, there was something you talked about about being an intuitive empath. Tell me a little bit about what an intuitive empath is.
Yeah, so it's really about having this sense of knowing, a real sense of knowing about people, about situations. You don't comes from, it just comes to you. But being an empath is I'm very sensitive to the emotions of other people, and I work within energy, so I pick up people's emotions. I mean, all of us do that to some degree. I mean, some of you will relate to walking in a room and thinking, oh, you know, this doesn't feel nice. So, you know, we all have that ability. But for those like myself who are very strong intuitive empaths, we really feel that emotion as if it's our own, you know, and we have, you know, I'll give you an example. I can often think someone will pop into my head. Literally, I feel that they're upset. I can feel that upset, and I'll pick up the phone, and they are, you know, really feeling it as if it's your own, and that can be. It was quite frightening, I suppose, to start off with, and it's something that I kind of hid for a very long time, because I worried about what other people would think, and yeah, I've always been labelled as, you know, oversensitive, but know that they're gifts, and I know how to work with those gifts now. So
I'm all about, you know, when I'm helping people through coaching, I'm all about helping people play to their strengths, play to what they're good at. I just think there's an energy and emotion that it works well when you know that you bring something to the table that you're great at. And during your Why Wednesday, you described your intuitive, empathic nature as a natural gift. Now I'm going to challenge you a little bit. Because I think we can, you know, with the growth mindset, we can develop on our skills and things like that. So again, what gave you that awareness that you had a strength there? And also, how did you nurture that?
So it's something, as I said, that I've known about since I was a very little girl. I've had lots of experiences there. Really became aware of it probably when I was 9 or 10, when there were just things that kept continually happening that I knew were more than coincidence. And the way really that I nurtured that is to find others who also had similar gifts or the same sort of gifts, and really speak to them, learn about it, because I didn't know what it was before. I didn't know it had a name. So it was having that sense of belonging and knowing that I wasn't weird. I wasn't just me. It was something that others had as well. So being around like-minded people with similar gifts. And it's also, I've got a really inquisitive mind, and I love to know the how, the why about everything. And I read, I research, I do courses, you know, and that's again how, by learning and immersing myself in learning, I develop that really. And then in my work now, it's really developed because I've trusted in that, and it's just proven to me time and time again, really, that, you know, it's a gift that's there, and yeah, it's continually growing.
What would you say to others if they think they have a natural gift, and how would you what advice would you give them to nurture it?
Yeah, well, lots of people that come and see me here at the House of Harmony are aware of perhaps having this gift, feeling different to other people, being more sensitive. So, you know, things like Reiki can certainly help. But it really is about finding and being around like-minded people who share that, and really just be around, learn from, have that support from, and nurture those gifts.
Just looking at some of the comments that have come through, I'll catch up with those towards the end. But you know, if you've got any questions for Amanda as we're going along, then please do just stick them in the comments. I'm sure that we'll jump in and answer one or two. But you know, what are some of the things then really that have helped you? You talked a little bit about, you know, stepping into yourself and uncovering the mask. You know, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I remember a point when I went through counselling recently, or in the last sort of year or so, when I reached this real identity crisis, because we basically stripped away everything I thought I ever was. So, you know, I lived my life being or labeling myself and associating myself with the things that happened to me. And so when things fell apart, it was, my goodness, who am I? Who am I? It was about really learning to get to know myself. And that's going back to basics. It's going back to, what do I like? What do I dislike? What's important to me? What are my dreams? You know, what this kind of person who am I? And it was looking at things like core values. That was hugely important to me. Looking at what's important. It was exploring boundaries was really important, because again, as a recovering people pleaser, boundaries are hugely important. And many of us, you know, we know they exist, but we often really don't acknowledge them. And boundaries are really important. It's about speaking my truth, because quite often what I used to do was swallow that down for fear of confrontation or upsetting somebody. So it was about learning to say what I was really feeling, with love and with assertiveness, and yeah, getting in touch with myself and my dreams, my hopes, and just building on that. And really, what, you know, looking at hobbies. And when we're a people pleaser, we put ourselves bottom of our list of priorities. So, you know, it's suddenly to think about yourself, and as I said, what you need, what you want in any given moment, really.
Yeah, I love that. And you know, what would you say your values are?
My core values, definitely for me, are family. And I will mention, you know, for those of you who know me, I've got a beautiful son who's biologically ours, and he's as a result of the beautiful gift of IVF surrogacy. So family is hugely important. Friends, trust, compassion, inner harmony, meaningful work. You know, and once we have that sense of our core values, and you talk about this, Ryan, you talk about it in your Why workshop, it's so important looking at our core values, because when we're clear on what's important to us, we can make the right decisions in our life in every single aspect. And it means that we're in alignment with ourselves, and you get that joy and that fulfillment if you're, you know, you're in alignment with those things.
Absolutely. And you know, the thing I kind of say to people isn't, you haven't got to go find these things. You haven't got to go find a set of values and find a why. These things already exist within, you know, and it's just going through that process of thinking, reflecting, just to really get clear on those things. And then when you get clear on them, you can start using them with intent, like you've just said, around meaningful work or inner harmony. And you know, and I find it personally really, really powerful. It's one of the biggest transformational things I've been able to do with people. It's amazing. When people get clear on it and they see it on a page, you must see the physical change in people, because they look at the page and they go, "Wow, I'm proud of that," you know. And it's it's really powerful. So
Yeah.
yeah, and one thing you talked about is that you now are a keynote speaker. What sort of things do you talk about?
I'm an inspirational speaker and motivational speaker. So what I truly do is share my story. You know, what I'm about is allowing, you know, seeing, it's quite a vulnerable place to share, you know, those personal things that I've been through, and it feels very vulnerable and very raw to do that. But what it shows is that, you know, we can go through these hugely traumatic events, these life-changing events, but we can come out of it the other side. You know, we have to witness the dark in order to know the light. I'm about, you know, showing people that, you know, I've been here, I know what this feels like, but look where I am now. You know, and if I can do that, so can you. And this is how you do those things. So I talk about things that have helped me. I want to give value to my listeners so that they can go away and start, you know, integrating some of those things into their life and into their journey. Is very much about, you know, showing that the things that we go through, and sometimes we think, how on earth are we going to get through this? It feels dark and it feels overwhelming, but, you know, they are gifts, albeit wrapped in barbed wire, but they're like breadcrumbs that lead us to our purpose in life, and they show us our qualities, they show us that great courage, that strength that we have within us that quite often we don't know exists. So,
That's the one word that's coming through the comments now, is courage. Would you associate that word with yourself?
Yes, yeah, I would. I think.
Have you had to learn to associate that with yourself? Have you had to learn to accept that?
Yeah, yeah. I think that the courage for me comes through telling my story, because for me, it was always associated with such shame. So yeah, to now see that and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable is strength and courage, and it's allowing us to say, you know what, me too, and this is how it feels for me. So courage, yeah,
And it's
courage,
like you
but
said, at the start is, I think what for people that are watching and listening and, talking about vulnerability, I think the thing that enables vulnerability at the very outset is being around people that you can trust. Having that one or two really, really close people that you can absolutely trust with anything. And in those vulnerable moments, isn't it, I guess?
yeah, we need to feel safe, and that's the kind of environment that I create at the House of Harmony, is this nurturing, safe space that's non-judgmental, where people can really open up and feel supported in their vulnerability.
Yeah, I love that. What's next for the House of Harmony?
It is changing, and it's very much, I'm stepping into this motivational speaking and writing a book at the moment. And it's finding me again. So it's about my journey. It's an inspirational memoir with teaching in there as well about things I've touched on today. So that really is where I feel the pull at the moment, in sharing that. And I love my healing work too, working with people. So it's going to be, a lot more of that, I think.
Amazing. How can I help you?
How can you help me? Just by being you. This opportunity today has really helped me, and I think it's just, like I said to you the other day, continuing to fan my flames, and hold me accountable. I need to do more speaking, get myself out there more. Yeah.
So tonight nearly didn't happen, did it? Do you want to share with people what went through your mind?
Yes, I had a really challenging week. I had some negativity come my way, which caused me to withdraw and think, can I do this? Who am I to do this? And then I turned that on its head, which is again what we talk about. So we, okay to have these negative thoughts that come in, but then it's having awareness about them and thinking, okay, let's do this anyway. We've got to keep going. Actually, in this line of work, we're going to come up against negativity anyway, because everybody's got opinions. So it's, I thought no. And I didn't take too long to come back to you, did I, and change my mind?
Yeah, I knew something was up, so I didn't just accept your first answer. I'm glad that you've come on with it. It's been absolutely amazing. I'm really, really grateful for your time and your energy. Always inspired by you and your story. And I guess where can people find you? Where can people get more of your content and connect with you?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook as Amanda Thomas at the House of Harmony. I'm on Instagram. Again, that's Amanda Thomas, the House of Harmony. My website is www.thehouseofharmony.co.uk. I'm going to be starting a blog very soon and a YouTube channel, so all exciting things coming up as well.
Fantastic. And just lastly, my practice is called Always Better Than Yesterday, and that really means something to me. I'm just curious to know what does the words always better than yesterday mean to you, and how are some of the ways in which you are always better than yesterday?
And this ties in nicely with what we just talked about that negativity and almost stepping back. It's knowing when to rest rather than quit. It's every day that we wake up is completely different. We have good days, we have bad days, but a bad day does not mean is not a reason enough to give up, or quit on dreams. It's knowing that it's okay to make mistakes, because mistakes are what help us to grow, and knowing that it's okay to be less than perfect. Perfectionism is a fantasy anyway. It keeps us locked up and imprisoned. So as long as you do your best on any given day, then that is enough, and it will always be enough.
I love that. Can you please leave our watchers and our listeners a final thought from Amanda Thomas?
Oh, I would say that everything you need is within you, and it's to stop looking for external answers to give you that peace and that joy that you're looking for, because everything you need is within you. Lasting change starts from within. External change brings about short-term change, so it really is looking within, knowing that you've got the power to change your life, and it all starts with you, and it finishes with you.
I love that. I love that. I'm so grateful for your time. I don't know whether it's because I'm a little bit run down and poorly, or whether the emotional connection I feel like I have with you, but I feel a bit emotional right now. Yeah, in awe of you, and I appreciate you. I'm just going through the comments as well, and I'm not the only one. There's a lot of love tonight from Amanda Thomas. So after this live, have a look back in the comments. There's 70, 80 comments already, a lot of them showing a lot of love your way. So spend a little bit of time, connect with the people in there, and yeah, be very proud of yourself.
Thank you for listening.
And to all the watchers and listeners, let me just say thank you for your time this Sunday evening. If you're catching up on the podcast, I appreciate you. If this has been useful and of value, and you want to share this with somebody else, just push one of our faces right now and push the share button. Share it to either your timeline or to the inbox of someone that you think would really benefit from hearing this tonight. I urge you to connect, if you haven't already, with Amanda, and if you've got those questions that you're sitting on, don't hesitate. Just reach out, and you'll be glad you did. And if you want to come and join the We Are Always Better Than Yesterday community, if you believe in developing yourself and other people to be better than you were yesterday, then you will be more than welcome. Would you recommend people join, Amanda?
Absolutely, without a doubt. If you feel you need a bit of uplifting, you want to be surrounded by inspiring, uplifting people, Ryan is a fantastic coach who really does shine a light on your potential, and then when you finally see it for yourself, he continues, as I said, to fan those flames. So yeah, if you haven't
appreciate that. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week, and we'll speak to you all soon. Much love, everybody. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you. Bye, lovely.